What's going on? Welcome back. Glad to see you guys here. Thanks for checking it out. It's been a while. It's been since December since I've done one of these. I was going to do one in January, just a quick short one, but I was like, you know what? I'll just wait until I get to realignment, and realignment day is here. And it's kind of been terrible. There's been some very questionable decisions by our good friends that I love so much at UIL. I actually told Cowboy from Six Mania today that I'm pretty sure they got a hat and just threw everybody's name in it and just started picking people out and put them where they wanted to go. Some of them I think they did pretty well, but then there's some of them I'm just like, well, what in the hell is all that about? So we're going to go over them here shortly. But first, like I said, thanks guys for coming back. I appreciate all the support, all the feedback I'm still getting. It's still good to be talking with you guys on Instagram. I'm enjoying it. I miss football. We still got a little ways to go, but we're getting there. So here we go, realignments. Let's start Division 1, District 1, Follett, McLean, Miami, and White Deer. Follett shouldn't have an issue there at all. District 2, Claude, Happy, Nazareth, and Wildorado. Happy should be okay there, I think. Nazareth and Wildorado had a decent year last year. Nazareth 7-4, 7-4. Wildorado's 8-3. So a lot of things change though. Seniors move, people move in, people get hurt. So we'll see how that one goes. But I think Happy should be fine there. District 3, Anton, Spring Lake, Crest, Lorenzo, and Petersburg. I think that's going to be an Anton and Spring Lake. I actually kind of got questioned about that one today. I'm going to say that, but there's some things that might change, might happen. I'm saying Spring Lake first, but there's some things that might happen that might change my opinion on that. But you never know. District 4, Knox City, Spur Valley, and Northside. I'm not sure. I'd like to see Knox City bring it on this year. So we're really looking at Spur and Valley. Northside was 0-10, so they're out of the question. I'm not sure how many Valley and Spur lose. And that's another thing real quick. I'm not 100% sure on how many seniors everybody's going to be losing. District 5, Meadow, O'Donnell, Wellman, Union, Whiteface. That's a terrible district. And if any of you guys are listening from there, I'm sorry, that's a terrible district. The best record from last year there is Whiteface at 5-5. Wellman Union was 0-9, Meadow 4-7, O'Donnell 3-7. So that's one of those that just, it's not a very tough district, and somebody's going to be in the playoffs that probably shouldn't have any reason to be there. So I mean, I guess we can really check Whiteface out on that one. Just be watching for them. District 6, Fort Davis, Buena Vista, Marfa, and Van Horn. That's another one that really isn't too exciting. Van Horn went 8-4 last year. Fort Davis 6-5, Buena Vista at 6-4. So Marfa 3-7. I really wouldn't put them in any kind of conversation, but that might go three different ways. But that's, like I said, that's not that strong of a district either. District 7, Sands, Borden County, Garden City, Grady, and Rankin. This one blew my mind. I think it blew everybody else's mind. 3 really good teams in the same district. One of those teams is not going to go to the playoffs. Those 3 have been in the playoffs for I don't know how long. I will say, Garden City, I think they're set. Rankin went 10-2, but I think Rankin's fixed to go on the downslide a little bit. They're still going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be as good. Kirkland is graduating this year, and so are a couple of other ones, and Kirkland was their man. Borden County, I said it at the end of last year, they're on the come up. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to have a Garden City, Borden County 1 and 2 spot for this coming year in District 7. But that one's, I'm really excited for that one. I'm excited, but I'm not, because one of the good teams is going to be sent home after district play. District 8, Hermley, Ira, Roby, Highland, Rotan, and Westbrook. This is going to be a pretty decent one. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there before I go any further. I'm expecting Westbrook to return to Arlington this coming year in December. So we're kind of really looking at a Westbrook, Hermley. Ira's going to be right there in Rotan. All those had winning seasons, 10-1, 7-3, 7-3, and 11-4. Obviously, Westbrook is state champs. Congrats to those guys again. So that's going to be a pretty fun district to watch. I like that one a lot. Going to Region 3, District 9, Baird, Bryson, Gordon, Gorman, Lincolnville, and Perrin-Went. I don't like the 6-team district. I think that's ridiculous. This one kind of went the way I was thinking, but it kind of didn't. I was expecting 3-way to be in there. I did tell somebody I was thinking they were going to split 13 up, District 13 from last year up, in which they kind of did. I was expecting Gordon, Bryson, Gorman, and Lingleville and Three-Way was my guest district for those guys. But they threw Baird and Perrin Witt in and didn't put Three-Way. So I'm not sure why they did Baird, and I'm really not sure why they did Perrin Witt. And Three-Way is a lot closer to Stephenville than it is the rest of them. So that right there is in that area, around the Stephenville area where Three-Way is with most of those teams. Like I said, that's going to be a pretty good one, I think, as long as Gorman and Lingleville still and start the way they ended last year. I think it'd be a pretty good district. Gordon should have the upper hand on them, but I mean it is Division 1, but I think those guys shouldn't have any problems. So congrats to Gordon, you're out of a strong shadow now. Let's see, District 10, Campbell, Union Hill, St. Joe, and Savoy. Obviously, Fruitvale went to 11-man, actually 2A, but I was told the other day they're actually going to be playing 6-man still, but outlaw. We're looking at Union Hill and St. Joe there. Union Hill should be better next year. I think St. Joe's going to pick up where they left off and be just as good, if not even a little bit better. District 11, Avalon, Blum, Covington, Milford, and Three-Way. They took Bynum out because Bynum went to Division 2 and slid Three-Way in. Like I said, I thought about they might put them in there, but since they are closer to Stephenville and the rest of those teams, I figured Three-Way would be there. But obviously, the brains at UIL decided that this was a better fit for them, and actually, I think it is a decent fit for them. The best team there was Avalon with 6-5 last year. So Three-Way might be in the mix for it. Blum, they're struggling. Covington's bad. Milford's bad, and Three-Way was 3-7. So that could be anybody's game right there, anybody's district. So that actually might work out pretty well for Three-Way. District 12, Abbott, Aquila, Coolidge, Golston, Penelope. Golston's back in a district now. Of course, Abbott, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, Abbott is my other pick to be in Arlington in December. So I'm looking at a Westbrook-Abbott Division 1 matchup there. District 13, Eden, Menard, Welcome, Menard. They were 11-man last year. Arion, Robert Lee, very best. This is another weak district, kinda-ish. Arion was 8-3, so they're going to be sitting at the top. Eden's 5-4. Menard went 2-8 and 11-man. Robert Lee 2-8. Very best 4-5. So it's not very strong. Like I said, Arion's going to be the front runner for that. I'm curious to see how Menard's going to be doing 6-man, see how well they adjust. District 14, excuse me, Evant, Jonesboro, Lameda, May, and Santa Ana. Lameda. Who did y'all piss off? Y'all had to piss somebody off at UIL. And Santa Ana, I'm sorry guys, I really am, because you guys already had to deal with May as it is, but now you got to deal with Jonesboro. Now, granted, I will say May, they're not gonna have a down year, but they're not gonna be as good as they have been the last couple of years. They're losing Hogg, losing Williford, so they're gonna be struggling. They've got some other kids that were pretty decent, pretty good that they're losing as well. So I mean, of course, we're gonna be looking at May and Jonesboro. Jonesboro is gonna be a state contender. I don't think May will make it that far, but I mean they're a playoff team definitely. District 15, Burkeville, Chester, High Island, and Leverett Chapel are far, far east. I actually expected this one. I pretty much nailed it 100% when I was doing my predictions. That's a long drive from High Island to Leverett's Chapel. And really, UIL didn't have a choice to do it any other way than this, because Burkeville's over close to Jasper. Chester's over there. High Island's down by Galveston. And Leverett's Chapel is on the other side of Tyler. So they're all far east. But I think Leverett's Chapel is going to have it made there. Burkeville did go 6-6 with 11-man. So we're going to see how well they do. I'm going to say I kind of expect them to probably have a playoff spot. I don't think Chester's not good. High Island always struggles when they are in 6-man or when they even play football. So we'll see. I think we might have a Leverett's Chapel, Burkeville 1-2 right there in District 15. Now, last one, District 16. Canyon, Leaky, McDade, Medina, and Prairie Lee. Not a good district at all. Combined, they went 20-26 last year. That's not good. Canyon's 2-6, Leakey's 6-4. Leakey was the only winning team out of that district. McDade 4-4, Medina 5-5, Prairie League 3-7. Now I will say I've got a lot of people saying, look out for Prairie League, they're gonna win it. Probably Division One, D1. It's okay. It's not bad. That one district, let me get back to it, is really getting me though. The one with District 7, Borden County, Garden City, Rankin. That one's kind of threw me off. I'm excited about it though. I'm excited and I'm upset about it at the same time. So moving on, Division 2. There's that Groom, Headley, LaForce, Silverton for District 1. Groom and Headley, I like moving Groom up there. I think it's going to be good for them, and I think it's going to be good for Headley too as well, and I think they're our number 1 and 2 spot. Guys, I know this is way too early to be talking about this stuff, but it's fun to predict it. You know we're going to get them wrong, but it's still fun to do. So yeah, I'm liking Groom and Headley there. LaForce, they're hardly good. Silverton, no, and the other team, yeah. District 2, Amherst, Cotton Center, Hart, Lasbuddy, and With Harold. That's a With Harold. That's all them. And maybe Amherst right there behind them. But I don't think With Harold should have any issues. And that's the thing I noticed about Division 2. A lot of these are the one-team districts, and that's going to be it. But yeah, in Division 2, I'm going to say it again, is just weaker. A whole lot weaker than Division 1. There's a couple of people that have an easy way through the playoffs. Speaking of, Balmorhea, Dale City, Grand Falls, Sanderson, Sierra Blanca, Balmorhea 9-2. I think they're set pretty well with that, and maybe Grand Falls or Sanderson right there behind them. I think it's going to be a Grand Falls Sanderson battle for the second spot. District 4, Klondike, Loop, Southland, Dawson, and Wilson. I think there we're going for, it's obvious, Klondike and Loop. And I know Klondike is losing several kids, but right now still I'm leaning with Klondike. District 5, Patton Springs, Aspermont, Guthrie, Jayton, Motley. I expected all of that right there except for Motley. I thought Motley was going to be moved out to a different district. And Motley's losing a ton of kids. So this might be Jayton's year. I've seen where Guthrie might have a pretty decent team this year, and I'd like to see that as well. I'd like to see more than 2 people in that district with Jayton and Motley have to fight it out. District 6, Benjamin, Chillicothe, Crowell, Harold, and Paducah. I think this has worked out pretty well for Paducah because I think that's automatically getting them into either the first or second place spot in that district. I'm not sure about Benjamin. I know everybody's still saying Benjamin's going. I don't know. I don't want to say last year was a fluke. Yes, they went 10-1, had a really, really good year. I don't want to say it's a fluke, but this year's going to tell me a lot about them. Paducah's a good team. I was on the Paducah train. Everybody heard me say it several times last year, and I'm still going to stick with them. I'm rooting for those guys, and I think this move has helped them out a lot. District 7, Paint Creek, Looters, Rule, Throckmorton, and Woodson. Throckmorton is set again. Really, Rule, maybe Woodson, and Paint Creek was 4-5 last year, so you really don't know. Hopefully there'll be a good battle for that second, but I think Throckmorton's going to be set as well as usual. Then District 8. This is one of the one that had my heads that I was scratching. Goldberg, Forestburg, Newcastle, and Strawn. They're all in Region 2, which moves them out west. There is probably 6-7 teams in Region 4 that are further out west than Strawn is. So I do not get that at all. I don't understand it. And putting them there, like I posted earlier, that's if Motley does make it further, that's going to have Strawn and Motley meeting up in the playoffs and not in a state championship game. I've seen somebody say Strawn's not going to be making the playoffs. No, they're going to be there. I promise you. Coach Lee always finds a way out how to get them guys ready, how to get them in the playoffs. You remember all these kids in junior high, elementary, Coach Lee's been working with them. So he knows what he has. He knows what he's got to do to get players when they come to high school. But yeah, District 8, I don't like that at all. I can see Newcastle being paired up with Forestburg and Goldberg. I don't really see why they got Fannindale away from Goldberg and Forestburg, but this is our great minds at UIL. But I'm still going to say Strong's going to win that district, and probably Goldberg's going to struggle next year. And I'm curious to see what Newcastle's going to have. Forestburg is still going to be terrible. District 9, Apple Springs, Fannondale, Oakwood, and Trinidad. Could this be the year Apple Springs makes the playoff? Could it be? And it feels so weird me saying that, but could it happen? This is a no-doubter for Oakwood. I've got Oakwood making the semifinals, the Final Four. I think there's a really good shot, and I have them meeting up with Richland Springs, and I don't think Richland Springs is going to be as good as they were or they have been. So there's a damn good shot. Oakwood will be in the state championship, and I would love to see it. So this is a really good move on Oakwood's side. That way they don't have to battle with Calvert. Now there is Fannondale and Trinidad. Fannondale did go 7-3. They had a horrible year though. They're losing 5 or 6, I think, and they have no numbers. I know they had to cancel some junior high games because there was no players. They didn't have enough. So I don't think Fannondale's going to be having a very good year next year. Trinidad, terrible year, 0-10, unfortunately. But there's talent in that Trinidad coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and say I think Trinidad might be our second place spot next year, and I'm hoping. So we're looking at Oakwood and Trinidad maybe. And District 10, this is one of those that I just don't know who's going to win it. Bynum, Copperell, Morgan, and Mount Calm. These aren't good teams. This is an extremely weak district. So this is one of those where a couple teams are going to be in the playoffs that really don't need to be in the playoffs. And it's nothing against those guys, but you put this kind of team up against an Oakwood or a Strawn or an Abbott or Jonesboro or May, and they're going to get 45. That's exactly what's going to happen. So you can look at Bynum maybe finally getting a playoff spot, and maybe Mount Calm. I don't see Copperell doing anything. I really don't see Morgan do anything. I know Bynum, I'm pretty sure they're losing their good little running back that they've had the last couple of years. That might be our first and second spot, Bynum and Mount Calm. District 11, Buckholtz, Calvert, Dimebox, Oglesby. You can probably count on Calvert and Oglesby. Buckholtz is doing the Buckholtz thing with nothing, and you can't ever count on Dimebox. They'll have a season and they won't. So really, I'm just going to say that's a two-team district. District 12, Bluffdale, Cranville's Gap, Iredell, and Walnut Springs. They got rid of a team out of there. I'm not sure what Gap is losing, but I'm going to stick with them. That's actually going to be a decent little run between those three teams, Bluffdale and Walnut Springs. So District 13, Blackwell, Mont Lorraine, and Trent. This is another one. It's weak. I know Lorraine's kind of salty, pretty salty little team, so I've got some high expectations for them. I do expect them to win it, but the other three teams, you never know. You never know what you're going to get out of them. Blackwell's 4-7, Bronx 2-8, and Trent was 4-6. So it's up in the air for those three. And then District 14, Moran, Paint Rock, Rising Star, Panther Creek, another terrible district. And I'm not trying to be rude to you guys, but 5-5 is the best record out of those four teams, and that was Paint Rock. Moran was 2-7, Rising Star 5-4. I'm sorry, 5-4. Rising Star had a winning record, and then Panther Creek was 3-6. Could Panther Creek get playoffs? No, you never know. Paint Rock have a bad year, Rising Star have a bad year. Those four teams struggle. They've been struggling for a while. And that's another one of those districts where you put them up against a May, Strawn, Richland Springs, somebody like that, and they're going to get 45 as well because that's what's been happening. And nothing's going to change that. So that's another district where a couple teams are going to make playoffs that really don't need to be there, that shouldn't be there. District 15, this one fell exactly like I said it would. And if I had my paper where I wrote it all down, I would prove to you. Blanket, Gustine, Mullen, Sidney, and Zephyr. I know there was a couple people that were wanting Zephyr over in there. I mean, look at the record. I would want them in my district as well. But I knew it wasn't going to happen. Gustine, Zephyr, Blanket, and all them are way too close together. They're too centrally located for them to go anywhere else. I still think we're looking at Blanket. I still want to see them get better, though. They're always decent. They went 8-2 last year. But I'd still like to see them better, and I'd like to see them make a better run. Then District 16, pretty much the same. Brooksmith, Cherokee, Long, Richland Springs, and Rochelle. Out of all of them, I would say probably District 16 is probably the toughest district, I'm guessing. And the reason why I say that, because you got Richland Springs, Cherokee, and Rochelle. Cherokee and Rochelle actually surprised me and a lot of other people last year. They were actually pretty decent. Cherokee was 7-4, Rochelle was 7-3, and Richland Springs went 10-2. The thing about Richland Springs, I don't think they're going to be as good as they have been. I still think they're going to go a little ways. I actually have them and Oakwood meeting up in the playoffs to get to state, but I don't know if they will. There is one scenario where if they get a move in, which I've heard it's very possible, that will help Richland Springs out a lot. But as it is now, I know they're losing Caps, and I think that, what's that kid's name? Number 12, he was their quarterback. They're losing him, and I mean, they're just not going to be as solid, I don't think. But it is Burkhart, it is Richland Springs, so you never know what's going to happen out there. So that's our districts for the next 2 years, our geniuses at UIL. If you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of UIL. Obviously, they've never done anything to me. I just don't agree with how they handle some of their stuff. Obviously, their realignments don't make sense, and I really don't care for them because they don't give much attention to our 1A teams, our 6-man. So, and I understand this is hard. It's hard to do when you got so many teams, but I think they could do a better job at some of these picks and use a little bit more common sense out of some of these picks. I mean, when you got a 5-hour drive for a district game, that's not good. I mean, and that's hard to do. Now, granted, yeah, 6-man towns are spread out all over the place. West Texas, it's actually a little bit more manageable. Out here in East Texas where I am, not so much because there's less teams. But that's it, man. That's our alignments and what we have for the next 2 years, and we're gonna see how it goes. So I'm gonna wrap it up now, guys, and I appreciate you hanging with me and listening. I promise you I'm gonna get another one out in another month. So in March sometime, I will cover some playoff basketball. Like I told somebody today, and guys, I gotta get the stuff. You guys gotta send me the stuff so I can post it. I get very little very little basketball stuff, and it's hard for me to do because there's a whole lot more teams in basketball than there is football. So guys, stay safe, take care of each other. Give me a message on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.